Okay guys, let us now talk about iframes in HTML. An iframe in HTML is a little window on your web page that shows another web page inside of it. So we saw previously how to use anchor tags, which are links that when somebody clicks on your web page, they are going to open or redirect the user to a different web page. But an iframe enables somebody to view a different web page without going out of the current web page. The viewer is going to simply see the iframe as a sort of dynamic image that is within the same current web page. So now let's see with an example of using an iframe how to actually use iframes in HTML. We use an iframe by writing the iframe tag, which is simply iframe. This is the way it is spelled. I'll press enter, and now we see this iframe comes with two important attributes, which is the src attribute and we have the frame border. The src attribute is used to give the path or the URL of the web page which you want to embed inside this given web page. So I'm going to use an example with the Wikipedia website. I'm going to try embedding the Wikipedia homepage inside my current web page as an iframe. So I will write the URL of the Wikipedia homepage, which is https:// and then wikipedia.org. And now when I save this, you need to be connected to the internet for this to display successfully. So I have embedded the Wikipedia homepage here, and I can type any search I want and it is going to work as normal. I will say Elon Musk. Let me search Elon Musk and see. And now we see results of our search, which is simply information about what we search, Elon Musk. And all of this is without having to leave this current web page which we are in. Now let's try using the second attribute, which is in the iframe, which is the frame border attribute that is set equal to 0 here. So the frame border attribute simply says if we want our iframe to have borders or not. Borders are simply the lines that are going to encircle these iframes. Let's give these borders a little bit and see. So by default, the border or the frame border was set to 0. It can be either 0 or 1. If you write 0, it is going to have no borders, but if you write 1, it is going to have a border, or it is going to have borders. Now I will change this 0 to 1 and save this. Now if you notice keenly, you are going to see that this iframe here, some borders have been added on the different sides of the iframe. But if I change this to 0 again, you have to pay close attention because the borders are not very thick. So I'll change this to 0 again, and if I save it, now the borders have disappeared. So that is what the frame border is used for. And I can also decide to change this iframe URL here. Instead of wikipedia.org, let me try with another website like google.com, for example. So that's the URL for Google's homepage. I will save this, and here we see the Google homepage is not displayed. If we hover on this, we say refuse to connect. So the reason for this is because a lot of websites usually disable the use of iframes, or they don't allow their website or web pages to be used as iframes on another web page. So there is a way they disable that, and we are unable to use the given website as an iframe or given web page. But some other websites enable iframes like Wikipedia, which we saw. So there are some websites with which it is going to work, but it won't work with others. So let's change back to our Wikipedia which we had, and we see it works now normally. Now we can also resize this iframe. We can see it is displayed the way it is, but we can also use the width and height attributes on this iframe to increase or decrease the size. So I'll write the width. The width is going to define the horizontal length of the iframe, and I'll give this a length of 500, for example, while the height is going to be for the vertical length, and I will give this a height of 500 too. I don't know why I like 500. Let me save this, and now we see I will enlarge this a little bit because I zoomed this too much. Now let me put it on normal 100%. Okay, we can see this is the width and the height set to 500 each. I had previously zoomed this, that is why it was already looking big, but let me remove the width and the height attributes to see the way it was normally supposed to be. So this is how it appears normally without the width and the height. But if I put back the width and the height and save it, we can see that it is resized to be a little bit larger. and you can also increase or decrease the width and height values as you want, depending on how you want it to look. Now the last thing I'm going to show under iframes is how to embed a web page that is not from an external website. Like for example, within this our same project, maybe you can be having this index.html file in a given website that you are creating yourself. So I can come to my project directory here and I'll create a second HTML file. I will call this index.html. Let me rename the file where it's supposed to be .html, but I got comma html. Okay, I have index2.html. Now let me put some few content in this HTML page. I'm going to simply put in the body a heading 1, which is going to say hello. And now we are going to embed index.html2 as an iframe in index.html1. So in my src, I will remove this URL here, and then I'm going to write a full stop and a forward slash to select a file within my current directory, and I will choose index2.html. And now if I save this, index2.html is going to be used as an iframe inside index.html, and that is why we see the content of index2.html, which is hello. Now let me add some more content in our index.html file to see how it is going to be separated from the iframe. So before the iframe, I'm going to write another heading. Let me see, this heading is going to say good morning, and now we see this is the good morning that is from heading, or that is from index.html, while hello is an iframe. Let me add some borders to the iframe so that we see how it is separated. I will change the frame border from 0 to 1 and save this again. And now we clearly see how the borders distinguish between the iframe content and the main content of our initial page. So guys, that is how to use iframes in HTML. We can use them to embed a web page inside another web page so that somebody can see the content of another web page while still being in the same web page that they are currently in.